Greetings, Poke fans. Poke Relaxing back with today's video, and in this paper bag you see before you, I have a stack of cards that I have purchased from my local gaming store. It's funny, it's a sports card and gaming store, and I know they call like just gaming stores LGS's, local card shops LCS. What do you call it if it's both? LCGS? I don't know. Well, anyways, my local game store, actually one of, I guess two, I think. There's three, but I think the third one kind of has like 99% sports cards and a couple booster boxes of Pokemon, probably more recently than in the past. But in any event, we have a handful of stores where you can buy Pokemon cards. And the biggest one had a sale recently, a Black Friday sale. There was a bunch of kind of specific deals, like ETBs were 3 for the price of 2. And oh man, I have to tell you guys, I bought 2 for the kids and 1 for myself, and the one I bought for myself was Surging Sparks, which is ironic because I have like a bunch of those, but they're in a case, and I don't really want to open the case because that's how I am. But I busted open this Surging Sparks ETB, and I got one like non-full art EX card worth probably like 20 cents, and no hits anywhere else in the packs in there. And I thought, this has to be like the worst opening experience I've ever had in my entire life. Now, luckily the thing was free if you count it as a third box, but I don't know if that's sane or not. In any event, one of the main draws of this sale was actually not the specific things they had on, kind of sale pricing. It was the fact that everything in the store, including all Pokemon cards, were 20% off. So I decided to buy some singles. Most of these are Charizards. So that's the Obsidian Flames illustration rare that I have wanted for a long time. So basically this one and the one that's in Paldean Fates are like kind of like the two big ones that I've been wanting for a while. So I was excited to see this one, and I did take a quick look at condition because it's a fairly high dollar card, and it looked relatively clean. I mean, I don't know that's going to be, I don't know, I wouldn't expect anything to be candidate for a PSA 10 out of this group, but my question is, did I buy anything that has like a giant gash in it that is going to be, basically preventing me from calling it near mint? And some of these cards are older, so they are like sort of, like well played or heavily played condition. So, this one, this is not a promo. This is a GX. It sort of seems like it's from the Sun and Moon era, but I don't know what that code is, so we'll have to find that out. This one is 2022. Oh man, I wish I knew what the symbols meant. I would have a lot easier time telling you where these cards are from. But anyways, this is just a, full art rare, illustration rare, that I've seen before, and it's cheap, so why not? This one is a promo. From what we will find out, $10. This one is beat to hell, so I think this $35 price is probably lower than what you'd see on TCGplayer, where generally the market price is like for near mints. But it is a cool looking card for sure. No idea what this is from. It's funny, I feel like I don't even see a set icon on there, so who knows what this is from, but very cool Mewtwo. This one is pretty sweet. It's like a gold card. I know this is from XY because it has the XY. I think it might be XY base set, maybe is what that is. But I feel like XY, a lot of the like rares in there are gold bordered. It was like just kind of the design back then, so it's not really like equivalent to when you get a gold card now, but this is a Mega Charizard, so it says M in front of it. I'm not sure how many Mega Charizards there are, like cards, but probably not a lot. With some cool, like Japanese there, even though this is not a Japanese card. So anyways, this thing looks freaking amazing, I have to say. The gold border, like these cool, like little sort of lightning elements going all the way to the border. I mean, that's just very unique looking. This does have a little ding, I think. I don't know, maybe that's some dust, but this one is probably going to be pretty valuable. I mean, might be close to $48, but alright, Glaceon. This is from something Sword and Shield. But pretty new card, so I'd expect it to be in fairly solid condition. Just looks cool, you know, it's one of the full art evolutions from the last couple of years that I've thought it's kind of like an all, like a lot of cards I like because they're just like a ton of bright colors. This one is very subtle, kind of like the, reminds me of the Charizard from 151. That SIR that's, you know, very popular and expensive. It's just, you know, that has warmer colors, but it's very sort of subtle, kind of calming. This is the other way, but it's also calming, but it's colder colors because it's an ice scene here, but pretty cool card, I thought. This one is a promo, but I freaking love the way this card looks. Reminds me a lot of like the Moonbryon card, the Umbreon from Evolving Skies, where it's like quite a stark, you know, blackish dark background with some highlight elements, in this case some lightning, and then a nice sort of primary color character just popping on top of that. Very cool looking card, I think. If you can see this in person, you'd also, well, actually you can kind of see the cool, like metallic little sparkles from the background. Yeah, I really like this card. It is a promo, so it's not going to be terribly valuable. No idea what set this is from. I guess this is from Sword and Shield era. This one is really dinged up on the side, so if it does have, kind of hard for me to believe that like a relatively modern promo is going to be worth more than this $44 price tag, but if it is, and I got this for less, it's because of those dings, but probably it's worth $44 or less, and the dings make it substantially less valuable than that. This is a sweet-looking Gigantamax Charizard. Kind of a sister card of the Mega Charizard, which I wanted to pull out. So you can see it next to it. So that one's pretty cool. Back looks fairly decent, off-center, but... And this one, I don't know where this is from. This is also a promo, but it's got a cool, you know, really kind of richly colored image on it, but very cartoonishy rendering of Charizard. So it's very unique art. I thought for $25, why not? So I'm trying to think how I want to do this. I do want to get a closer look at these cards, especially the ones that end up, you know, kind of comping at, you know, higher than the sticker price. So I paid 20% less than the sticker price for these. And this is really the first time that I've bought singles from that store. But I've been spending so much on unopened stuff for my kids to open. I sort of got very excited at the prospect of actually just buying singles. The other thing in my head right now is that I've been doing some TCGplayer orders. I think I started that like a week and a half ago, and I think I've ordered 3 times. And I have to say, I am super bummed with how TCGplayer works. Because I have not gotten evidence that any of these orders have shipped. I'm not sure I'll do a whole rant video on TCGplayer and all the ways I think it sucks, at least right now. But to give you a preview of my thoughts, like, it seems like most of the people on TCGplayer are going to ship, you know, like with a padded white envelope, or a plain white envelope is what PWE stands for. Which, you know, I get it for if you order a $3 card, that's just kind of the way it has to happen. And unfortunately on TCGplayer, there's, I'm going to do these by price. There's not a great way to send, you know, with tracking in any kind of cheap manner like you can do on eBay, which has a special deal with the Postal Service. So, you know, I get things are going to come. But, I mean, I ordered a group of cards that was like $140. And I think this dude shipped it, like, in a plain white envelope, untracked. So I'm like, okay. Like, as a seller, that's just crazy to me, because people will just say, I mean, I think this happens all the time on eBay, because they're tracking for, you know, kind of low dollar shipping, for like the dollar plain white envelope shipping you can do on eBay. Their tracking often fails, and so, you know, oftentimes you'll get a package that you sent with a single card, like a $8 or $9 card, and the tracking is showing it didn't arrive. You know in all certainty that dang thing arrived, but, you know, I think there's a cottage industry of people on eBay that order things using that eBay kind of cheap shipping. What do they call that? I forget what they call it, but it's got a special name. And then they know they're not going to get the card like 20%, or they're not going to get tracking completed 20% of the time, even though they get the card like 99% of the time or more. And then they just say they didn't get it, and there's nothing you can do except refund them, and then there's insurance for that. So they get it for free, they get, you know, their money back. So there's a whole industry of people on eBay that do that. I can't imagine, as a seller, that there aren't a boatload of people ordering from TCGplayer that get cards that were sent by plain white envelope with no tracking, and they just say, I didn't get it, refund me. And the temptation of these, you know, jabronis who want to do that kind of stuff has got to be super high, because on eBay, the limit for those plain white envelope, you know, with the janky tracking is $10, or maybe it's $20. Might be $20. But on TCGplayer, you could theoretically have an order that's $100 that's sent in a, you know, plain white envelope with no tracking, and then someone gets it, but then they want to say they didn't, and then you got to refund them. So I don't know. I mean, honestly, if you're a seller and you're selling $100 cards with untracked packing, I mean, you gotta expect that's coming, folks. The bad actors. All right, so I want to set this up so I can show you this card, and we can do the price lookups. So I'll bring you over to browser, TCGplayer up. All right. here we go, folks. I know that my window here is obscured by the window of the card, but hopefully, and I also see that the lighting is not the best, but I don't know. I'll work on that later. Let's do this Charizard V. So we paid $10, again, 20% off. So I paid like $8. I mean, then you got 7% tax on top of that. So really it's more like 10% off or 13% off. But for the purpose of the video, we'll say I got this for $8. And holy smokes, I got a bad feeling because that's the card. I think that's the card. Yep, that's the card. My LGS is ripping people off, people. That was the other thing I didn't, I didn't know about buying cards at this LGS is like, are they just ripping people off? Because certainly with sports cards, if you go to your local card store and buy singles, odds are very high that you're paying much more than you would on eBay. And to an extent, I do understand that because it is expensive to have a card shop. I mean, the amount of rent these people pay is crazy. And you have to have, I mean, when I was at this card store on Black Friday, there was like 8 or 9 people working there. I mean, I think they had all hands on deck because it was very busy. But I mean, those people are very, I mean, labor is expensive. I'm not saying people don't deserve to be paid. They absolutely do. But it is expensive to have labor, manning your store for, whatever, like 9 a.m. to closing time, 9 p.m. in the case of this store. So it is expensive. However, $10 sticker on a card that's a $4 card, luckily this is going up, so I got that going for me, is a little bit suspicious. Again, I only paid $8, so that's good. So this is a card where it would have to be in pretty dang nice condition. I don't really want to move the camera every time, so I think I'm gonna basically put the sticker or the like the market price on these again, which is I'll put 5. I'll be generous, and then actually I need a different color Sharpie than black. It stands out a little bit better. So I'm going to use red. I got a red Sharpie. Okay, so there's that one. So off to a terrible start. What's the card number in this one? TG03. All right. Oh boy. I don't know how I'm going to find this thing. I mean, I could just put Charizard. There's so many Charizards, you guys. I really don't imagine this is going to change it, but let's try some different variations. Yeah, I mean, honestly, TCGplayer is using search like libraries from 1997 for that to not come up. I mean, seriously. And there it is. There it is. Like, they just, I think that the card number is almost like not even a factor. It's like the 20th factor down on their algorithm. Well, the good news, folks, is this is actually a much better price than the first card there. Market price of $6.72. Bunch of damaged cards for cheaper, but let's see, in the first, like, near mint, yeah, it's like $4.96. So although it's funny because, like, the market price is $6.72, but you can get a near mint for basically $6.30. So I guess that's roughly, I guess maybe, does market price include shipping? So last sold is $6.30, but there was a near mint that will go for $9.97, so this is kind of all over the place. But I am going to put $7 on this, and again, I paid $8 for it, so could definitely do okay with this one. Unfortunately, the 7 in red doesn't show very well on that price sticker, but I'm sticking with it. Okay, folks, next up, Charizard ZX. So far we got robbed on one. We did much better on the second. Don't have a pattern yet. Alright, so I think that's it right there. Man, I wish there was better lighting on this frickin'. That is the card. A lot of times they have images that, look the same. Like this image looks the same. Oh, actually, wait a minute. Wait a minute. I think it's actually this one. Let's get a closer look. Yeah, it's this one. I feel like there's subtle design differences too, but it might just be the lighting. Oh boy, then it just disappears. I was hoping it was this one, because it's a little better pricing, although market price is actually about the same. It's funny, they have the... Okay, so this is Battle Academy stamped, or Charizard stamped. So which one do we have? Is there any difference? It's like playing Where's Waldo. Okay, it is this one actually, because this one, see right here, no stamp. The stamp in question is right there, I believe. So we did kind of get the one that has a higher, sort of lowest listed price on here, which is funny because you always click and it goes like to something else when you look at the actual listing. So holofoil price, basically $5.60. So I don't know. We'll put 6 on this one. So kind of another not so great deal, but again, only paid $8 for this, so not terrible. A little bit worried about some of these higher dollar ones, folks. Let's try this Charizard V-Star, because the problem could be amplified or it could be mitigated as we get some of these higher dollar ones. Okay, well here we go. So this is a promo from Sword and Shield. Doesn't say which kind of set it's tied to, which I find kind of annoying, but looks like a solid deal. Again, I'm assuming these prices are all holofoil price or near mint price. So if I look at a card and it's got like major damage, it's not going to be near mint anymore, and then we will have gotten ripped off. But yeah, looks like $25 or $24 is the market for this one. And so if the sticker is $25, then I paid what is it, like $5 less than that. So this might have been a deal. Fantastic. Get one last look at that. Pretty cool. Alright, let's quickly look at the back of this. Yeah, so nothing crazy on the back. I'm going to look at condition a little more closely once we've got pricing done. So there's the Glaceon. I see that I'm actually blocking the light, so that makes me kind of want to like move this over there, and I will be less likely to block the light. Okay, beautiful Glaceon V-Star here. Let's check that one out. So that's, okay, one of the Galarian Gallery cards from Crown Zenith. And that one is coming in at a pretty nice price too. $24 is the market price. And it's kind of on the way up. Which is nice. So yeah, pretty sweet. I was thinking that, my best chance for possibly coming out ahead here is that a lot of cards are on the move up, especially Charizards right now. So like if they're not, changing their pricing kind of frequently, then, things may have gone up since they priced them. And therefore it could be a better deal than one might expect. Okay. So so we're doing so far on the high-priced ones, and that is good. Okay, so yeah, it's this one, obviously. So it's from Darkness Ablaze. Kind of nice to know that I don't have to open a bunch of these sets anymore to find the big Charizards, because now I have them, so that's good. I feel like I have a case of Darkness Ablaze. Which is funny, you don't really feel like you never see that set. It's kind of like how people were saying you don't see Temporal Forces from Scarlet and Violet like anywhere ever, but Darkness Ablaze is like this Sword and Shield set I feel like you never see talked about or really, for sale a lot. Look at the price chart on this one. How great is this? So $26.98 is a very solid price for this one. The cheapest you can get a Nearman is $30, so this is actually a freaking bargain. A steal, if you will. So $27. All right, and then again, I paid something like whatever, $21 for the card. So dang near might be a steal of a deal. So this one was the one that had the kind of beat up back, especially the edge there. That one seems like maybe it was in competition somewhere. So I feel like we're probably going to see comps that are pretty high on this one. And we're going to have to figure out what the value is for maybe like a, I think it would be heavily played, this one. So could be a real, sort of bummer. Yeah, so there it is. Wow, it's from Next Destinies. That's our old set, I think. Wish they put like the year of the sets on here. That would be pretty helpful. All right, so $98 as you see, or I'm sorry, $85 is the near mint price. Lowest available price is $18.90 for a damaged. I think that's the big question. Is this a damaged or is this a heavily played? I'm sort of leaning towards heavily played because I don't see like any major gashes or anything, but unfortunately the heavily playeds are selling for $20, so I'd say market is probably 20. Now we can look at so lightly played would be 55, which is nice. Near mint 74. Heavily played, which is probably what we got. I see 20, 25. I see there's a moderately played. So that's kind of, that's 38. So that's probably what they considered this thing to be. So, real mystery, honestly, on this one. I see a couple indentations on it. So maybe it is heavily played. Yeah, I think I would say this is an HP to be sort of, conservative. And so we'll put $23 on that one. And the discount on that would have been about like $7 off. So we did get into the kind of 20s on that one, high 20s for that. But a really cool card, and that's one that I think the kids will appreciate. Kids really like the Mew and the Mewtwo's. Alright, let's check out this Jolteon. It looks freaking fantastic. Boy, I'm blocking the light again. I'm too big of a presence, I guess. Really interesting if it's going to tell me like what set this is from or what era, Sword and Shield. So there you go. They're kind of right on the money with the pricing, $44, and it's been steady for a long time. So that explains probably why they're pretty accurate with it, because they probably priced this like, I don't know, a month ago or 3 weeks ago or something. But yeah, pretty cool. Sort of, I wonder what makes a promo card go this high in value. I mean, it looks awesome, and maybe that's enough. But some promos are totally worthless. I guess it's just probably rarity. So if it's in a premium box that just they didn't make a lot of, and it's a popular character, and it looks awesome, that's enough to drive it, kind of into that double-digit price range, halfway to 3 digits. But anyways, $44. You see these low-price ones are Chinese. So I really wish they would not allow that. Like ban you if you try to put your Chinese card list. Now they don't have Chinese card listings, so I guess that's an argument for them allowing them people to do this. But they do have Japanese now, so those should not exist in here. And I think for the most part, probably people are putting their cards in the Japanese card listing, and then if you see Japanese in here, it's because it's like an older listing, so maybe that's going to take a while and then go away. But I don't know, it's kind of annoying. All right, so $44 on this one, and given the 20% discount, which would be, I guess like, I don't know, $5 off. So a deal, a steal on that one. Very nice. Okay, let's try Charizard Mega. I wonder if it's going to be under M Charizard. Yeah, it is. Okay, cool. So which one is it? It is, okay, so that's Evolutions. Looks like it's from. I thought it was like maybe XY base set, but anyway, that's cool. I feel like this is probably the best card in Evolutions. I was looking at Evolutions the other day, and I was watching a video where they were looking at the kind of most valuable cards in there, and there's really actually not a lot. Yeah, like the most valuable card is this like sort of reprint base set Charizard Holo, which is $50, but this is the second most valuable card in Evolutions, which is like, a set that costs $1,000, a booster box. So I gotta say, this is a really cool card to have for me as a Charizard collector. I'm kind of psyched that, I got it for $48. The market price is $39. But I kind of wonder if that seems to be influenced. Okay, because I feel like the market price, what they're saying here, is for a lightly played holofoil. And that's why when you click the, sales, like the near mints are going for well more than that lightly played. So I think that sometimes the market price is not for near mint. It's like for like the most commonly traded version of the card. So like for a lot of older cards, it might be lightly played. For most newer cards, it's going to be the near mint that the market price reflects. So yeah, I don't know. I'm just kind of figuring this out right now. But the near mints are consistently, 45 to $55, and then the moderately played is less. So this is one where condition is going to be quite crucial, but it actually looks quite solid. So I'm going to put like $45 on this one. But if it's a near mint, then it's definitely going to be better than that, I think. Maybe not much better. Maybe just 48, but anyways, I don't know. I love this card. I'm super psyched about that one. Now, this is going to be a big one. I feel like that's the most valuable card that I bought. And I couldn't remember. I thought this was a $100 card, but I think I was confusing it with the Charizard from the Paldean Fates set, which looks kind of similar. Yeah, so this is the Paldean Fates one, And I do sort of mix it up in my head with this one from Obsidian Flames. Because it's sort of, the art style is very similar. The, might even be the same artist, but the coloring is quite a bit different. So I was kind of thinking it was this one and I was like, why is that so cheap? Must be damaged, but I looked for damage, didn't see anything, so I was like, okay, fine. So I think the market price on this one is actually going to be closer to $50 or $60. Yeah, so it's right on the money at $60 for the near mint. Although interesting, this says lightly played holofoil for the price point, so I don't know, I gotta figure this out, folks. But the near mints are 44, 45. Now those are listed prices, so we can look at the actually sold. But there's a near mint that went for 63. There's a near mint for 63. So why are these near mints here so cheap, I wonder? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Oh, there it is. Interesting. I don't know. It kind of makes you wonder if that's a deal. There's 3 of them. You can buy them all, no problem. Weird. I don't know. Yeah, it's very strange to me how this works. But, I mean, look at this. Bunch of near mints. All sold. Oh, I know what's going on, folks. These were all sold, I think, during the Black Friday special, which was yesterday, but the pricing might not show up until today. I don't know. I think everything kind of got inflated temporarily because TCGplayer ran a sale where you got 10% store credit for everything you bought that day, up to like $50. So up to like a $500 purchase. So I think a lot of prices got maybe temporarily spiked because people were knowing they get that $10 credit value, and that might be what's going on with some of the prices that we're seeing here today, if they were from the last day or two. But I don't know. I mean, theoretically, those prices should have been all the 1129s, and then the 1130s from today should be, back down. But I don't know. It's crazy that, I mean, theoretically, this could be a $63 card, although the fact that there's active listings for 44 for a near mint does make me suspicious. So I don't really know what to call this thing. I would say maybe I'm going to put like 55. So basically we got a deal if you consider the discount, but maybe not if we don't consider the discount. Or if, the pricing is kind of wacky today. So let's take a closer look at some of these where condition, I think, is really quite critical. And then we'll be able to tell if we got steals on some of them. So, I mean, the first one, obvious, is this one. Because, as one of the few, I guess there were other ones, but this is like one of the only valuable ones from Scarlet and Violet era. Sorry, I meant to zoom back in here. This one, I would say, stands a better chance of being in good condition than certainly anything from Sword and Shield. Alright, so surface, I'm not seeing any issues. No kind of corner dings or anything that appear on the front. Centering is a little bit off. And I was just talking about centering the other day when I did my grading video. So I do want to be cautious about sending in cards that are not dang near perfectly like 51, 49 or better centering. And this one is definitely closer to like 60, 40 or maybe like 55, 45. It's close enough that, certainly there are PSA 10s that have grading that is equivalent to this. But your odds of pulling that off, I think, are quite low. So it is risky if you're not willing to get a PSA 9. So on a higher dollar card, you have a better chance of doing well with the PSA 9 in terms of comp value than with the cards I was sending in with my last PSA order, which is right next to me. So the sort of back looks quite clean. So this is a pretty sharp card. Again, centering is my main concern with this one. So this is where, I'm going to have to be comfortable with the PSA 9 pricing on this. But I do think this is clearly a near mint card. So again, looking at the price comps for this, being at the $66 level for a near mint, at least by virtue of the last, 4 or 5 sales, tells me that this definitely was a deal, because I'm quite confident this was a near mint card. And I paid $60 minus 20%, which is like, I don't know, $50. So very happy with this one, especially, because this is a card. This and that Paldean Fates EX Charizard have been on my, want list for a long time. And one of the cards I got from TCGplayer that, might come to me in the next 4 years, is the 151 Charizard EX. So when I have that one and this one, and then if I get the Paldean Fates one, I'll have like all of the kind of Scarlet and Violet era Charizards that I want in my greedy little hands, and that will be a happy day, folks. I gotta tell you, I'm gonna do a video on this, but like, Pokemon stuff is so much more fun than I thought it was gonna be. When I was kind of, just getting into it, I was like, well, okay, I want to learn the values of this stuff. So if I'm buying, booster boxes, I have some semblance of knowledge about what's in them, and kind of what price movements are and things like that. But I just really enjoy these cards. It's cool to have a card that like looks like an awesome artwork. Kind of really hard to tell, but I don't think I see any issues with the surface here on this one. It's sort of hard to tell sometimes. Like, I was looking at like right on his chest here, there's like a little like vertical line, but it's actually like a little cross of light forming in the sort of surface of this thing. So yeah, I don't think I see any surface issues. Don't see really any edge issues on the front. God, this is such a cool card. Man, I love this thing. I'm so happy I got this. Okay, so this is one where the back looked clean, but there is a little bit of white, but it was just sort of the kiss of death for, I see maybe a little bit of a, oh, okay, that was a little piece of dust came off. Then you want to look all around the edge here, and I can kind of try to get it in the light for you, yeah. Is there any whiting? Is there any chips along the edge? Now I see on this corner, you see there a little indentation, and actually, without the magnification that this camera kind of provides me, you can't really see that, but that is something to be aware of, and that is something that I think just comes from when these cards are cut. So a lot of times you'll see that sort of little raised edge on the circular corners, the rounded corners of these cards, but my main concern is just that white. So you can get a PSA 9 with one little splotch of white, no problem. And so this is again a card where I think, I would want to look at the comps, and if the PSA 9 of this is worth, 13 or let's say $15. I keep using 13 because that last batch I got was a special, and it was $13 per card. But I think in general, you're going to pay $15 for a bulk order of grading for Pokemon cards. And I did as I had to figure out what I was going to charge my friend whose cards I graded, and like with shipping for I think 24 cards that I had graded, like the per card price on an order of that size, you do a little better with a larger order because the shipping is less for each card, but I think it was like $14.50 per card, even though it was only $13, for the grading fee itself. So I basically paid about $14.50 even at that sale price to grade each card that you saw in that order. So that's kind of pricey. But again, the standard price is probably like $15 a card, and then the shipping on top of that, it's going to be another $1.50. So about $16.50 a card to grade these things. But if you look up the price on this thing, and let's say Near Mint is selling for $60, and a PSA 9 is selling for $75, well, then it makes sense to grade it, because you're getting that extra value from the PSA 9. Now, you could get a PSA 8, and then you might as well just burn your house down, move to Guam. But if you get a PSA 8, you gotta crack it out. You gotta crack it out. That's all there is to it, because a Near Mint, which is what a PSA is going to sell better as raw than in a PSA 8 for whatever crazy reasons. But I think the real sort of green light for grading this would be if the PSA 9 was like $40 or $50 more than the raw. Then you would want to probably grade that, take the risk. And if you catch a grader who's asleep at the wheel and they give you 10, then great. And if you get that to happen 1 out of 20 cards, well, that's where you're living the dream, folks. Okay, let's look at this Jolteon, and then I probably gotta wrap this up because I gotta go run off and play some tennis. So it was really kind of this one I know is trash rating. This one I might look at condition. This one I might look at condition. Okay, this one I might look at condition. The rest of these I don't really care. They're just kind of low dollar ones. So I'm not going to be too sad I didn't get to these 3, but if I get a lot of comments, maybe I'll go and look at those. But I did want to see this one, because this again is super beautiful card. Now, right away, this is off-center to me. I feel like it's not something I would consider even possible to get a PSA 9 from. I do maybe see some like little kind of indentations, but it's really hard to tell, because I do actually see a color change where those are, so that's gonna probably just be the design of the card to have the surface change where the color changes. I don't know, maybe I'm hallucinating. But anyways, surface looks okay to me. That's the thing, surface is so like difficult to tell if there's any spots. Alright, so here's the problem. Look at these white. There's more than one. There's actually 3. There, you can see that third one kind of underneath the. So this is definitely nothing I would ever grade, unless like a PSA 8 was substantially more, but I don't think that's going to happen. So this is one you're just going to have to live with this, in raw form. And one thing that is nice is, because the color of the backs on these are, is a dark blue, like you can see the whites very easily, which is going to be nice if you're hunting for grading candidates at like a show where you don't have a chance to get super close. I mean, this is in the top loader, and I can very clearly see those white spots. So without even taking a card out, you can see damage on the back very easily. And again, surface issues are very rare, particularly on modern cards that haven't been, put into a deck and played with, or really, had a chance to be in and out of a ton of like, binder pages or something like that. So that's nice. I feel like telling grading condition on a sports card is much harder, because oftentimes it's the surface that's the problem, because every sports card, it seems, is a smooth, glossy, metallic finish that can very easily get scratched just putting it in a binder, or maybe a top loader that wasn't, that's not new or something like that. And you can't really tell until you get that card out. You get it under a light and you can kind of move it like this. Surface issues are much less common in Pokemon cards, because there's like this sort of, tough protective surface, I feel like, on these that doesn't lend itself to, easily scratching. It can certainly scratch, but it takes a lot more. So really it's that sort of back, whiting that you're looking for, and then the centering are the primary issues. And you can tell both of those without taking a card out of the top loader. So a lot easier to do at a card show, which, by the way, there's a card show this Sunday, so I'm going to go to that. So I put this in top loader. It's going to go in my binder, and I'm going to, kind of keep it that way. Alright folks, that's what we got for today. Hope everybody enjoyed. I really like these Charizard cards, I gotta tell you. And I'm pleased I didn't get totally robbed. I actually might have come out ahead on a good group of these cards. But, you know, some were definitely a little more expensive than one would like to think, at least if you're comparing to TCG pricing. So, I don't know. Overall, I would say it was a deal. Well, maybe not a steal, but a deal for this one. So, yeah, look forward to the next one. Thanks, everybody, and hope you're staying relaxed. Bye now.